Yeah, we can see and we can hear you pretty well. Great, colleagues. Again, I greet you all who are present here. So this is the 20th conference of our summit, and of course we would like to make some conclusions, some results, and of course we would like to put a stake at the research scientific work. So this is the main topic of my speech. To tell you that those 20 conferences which were in the past, and within those events, we had hundreds of TRIZ specialists as participants from 64 countries. And this year, we also have a representative of Sudan. So he joined us, and all the rest of the countries you can see here. So I would like to tell you that we have a wide variety and range of participants. So we have pretty elderly participants of 75, 85 years old. So we have pretty a wide range of interests, of activities in TRIZ direction. So I would like to come to the genesis of the idea of TRIZ Summit development. So TRIZ Summit carries forward the traditions of the public lab of invention of methodology and Petrozavod seminars on TRIZ. A public lab of invention methodology and was headed by Mr. Altshuler. It was created in Baku in Azerbaijan, but there were not only Baku and Azerbaijan specialists, but also other representatives from the Soviet Union, from Krasnoyarsk, from Leningrad cities, from Petrozavodsk, and etc. So a lot of tools of TRIZ were discussed there at this public lab of invention methodology. It's called AllMe, abbreviated. So I will come back to this very name in the future. So development of AllMe, to my mind, were devoted to the scientific practical seminars which were held in Petrozavod city. And of course, we will talk about that as well. So summit of development of TRIZ is based on those seminars, and in the statement papers of the basis of TRIZ and of International Council of TRIZ Masters, we have development of TRIZ as a scientific theory. So actually, we will talk about that here. So as per mission, the mission of the TRIZ Developer Summit. So at first, I will repeat myself, and I'll repeat it not only now, but I will do it in the future. The mission includes development of TRIZ as coherent and comprehensive scientific discipline, preservation and advancing of scientific legacy of Mr. Altshuler, and that very structure, which was based by him, principles established by him as per TRIZ development. Of course, we include in our activity not only the tools which are put in the basis of the genesis of this direction, but also modern researchers. And we pay attention to the tools of practical application of TRIZ in business circles and innovations, in informational technologies. Also, we pay a lot of attention to the entrepreneurial and inventive creative thinking, development of the students, of school pupils, and also unification of TRIZ specialists is very important mission of TRIZ Summit. And conference is one of the formats of this unification. So we have some definite structure. TRIZ Summit. So here are vice presidents on different directions, including vice president on USA, on China. In China, we have a separate representation. It is presented by the company Zhensan One. Jensen One is the COO of this corporation, and the board of TRIZ Summit is resolving issues on the development of this direction, and many members of this board are participants of this very conference. Also, we have a special council on the qualification commission for awarding TRIZ masters. TRIZ Summit officially is registered in the Ministry of Legal Affairs of Russian Federation, and also we have the registration in China, official registration of this summit. And I have to say that first TRIZ Summit, it was held by initiative of the participants of St. Petersburg members. So these are the members and participants of the first TRIZ Summit. Within 20 years, we have held topic TRIZ Summits. And we were touching on the topics of laws of development of technical systems, advancing systems and principles of action, of invention problems, goal setting and analysis of systems, support analysis, and on and on. You can see those topics right there as the slides. And we have a lot of topics which were dealt by TRIZ Summit. Within the last years, we were concentrating our attention in the framework of 3 sections: TRIZ education, TRIZ in business, and TRIZ in technical and informational technologies. So as I said before, within some time, the quantity of participants is increasing, and right now we have 64 countries altogether which were participating in the summit, TRIZ Summit work. TRIZ Summit is the ideological heir of ALMI organization, public lab of invention methodology of Petrusovod seminars, but in organization approach, it was related to the association of TRIZ, which was created in the Soviet Union, and also with international association of TRIZ. It's called MA-TRIZ, which was actually created, also established in Russia, and I will tell you about that later. TRIZ Summit interacts with other organizations, international organizations. We'll talk about that as well. And here you can see the logics of formation of TRIZ Summit. So a public lab of invention methodology, it was created in 1970. And after that, development in 89, it was devoted to Petrozavodsk TRIZ seminars. And those seminars gave the beginning of the establishment of TRIZ Association in the Soviet Union. and then it was transferred into International Organization of TRIZ Summit. Then it was erased, and I will tell you about that as well. And on the basis of matriz Russia, matriz the USA, in the USA was created, and these are completely different organizations. So that's why my MA TRIZ was highlighted as MA TRIZ official in 2022, and they were participating in our conference, and we had some representatives of matriz official. So, as development of the scientific activity of the Petrozavodsk seminars, exactly in Petrozavodsk, it was created a special public organization of summit developers of TRIZ, and they were initiators of such a structure as International Board or Council of TRIZ Masters. So this is the TRIZ Summit way of development. So what kind of pain did we have in the framework of development? Is distortion of TRIZ and simplification of TRIZ tools, which they do have here. So some distortion, abstraction, and kind of misrepresentation or rejection of TRIZ principles. So several examples. One of the websites which I saw by occasionally, and it is attended by 1 million people per day. And it was said that, first of all, that TRIZ is brainstorming syntax, morphological analysis, and focal object method. And many people could consider that TRIZ is put in those principles, but it's surprising, but it's well spread information, and it is really interesting that it is really spread out offer that TRIZ educators, I mean, any person could become a master or teacher of TRIZ without a teaching degree. Certificates are issued after completing the training courses. But it doesn't matter whether the person is qualified, but he's got certificate. So there is a suspicion that quality will suffer a lot. And we can see on materials which are published by those specialists.
No, this is really a unique material. So these main ideas of TRIZ education and TRIZ teaching is about including and considering all people's positive qualities and retrain, redevelop all people's negative qualities. Also, the main idea of TRIZ teaching, it says, is about making people happy. Well, I'm not against it, but this does not have anything to do with TRIZ. So I wouldn't want to connect TRIZ with this simplification and downgrading of quality, which is there, and which is actually initially the quality that initially was considered by Mr. Altschuler for the theory of inventive problem solving. A few words on Heinrich Altschuler, and you will understand why I'm referring to him. He was born in 1926 in Tashkent. He was when he was 4 years old. They moved to Baku. He moved to Baku with his parents, and then all the main developments and his main activities related to the development of the TRIZ theory and writing his book. This took place in Baku. He studied in the Naval Aviation School, in Rustadi. He then after that spent 5 years in Vorkuta in a concentration camp, in this camp for political prisoners. Then after that, at the end of his life, he moved to Petrozavodsk. He spent the end of his life there from 1990 to 1998, and his grave is located also in Petrozavodsk. So this is about the background of Mr. Altshuler, and these are the messages we have from different websites. For example, we have information that he was born in Uzbekistan and lived in Karelia. Well, this is possibly an incorrect piece of information or false information. We don't know where they took this information from. It also says that Ashul graduated from Azerbaijan's Azizbekov Industrial Institute, specializing in mechanical engineering. Many renowned specialists graduated from this very renowned school. Now this is an academy, but Mr. Altshuler didn't graduate from this university. He enrolled there, but he didn't graduate from this particular school. And why would they want to write it in such a way that he graduated from this university? And also it says that Mr. Altshuler created several inventions during his student year. It's actually he created first inventions as early as when he was a school boy. I was also surprised to know from the TRIZ website, which possibly erroneously says that in 1974 the Central Council, which is the old Russian entity, the old Russian organization of inventors, closed the public lab due to Altshuler's defiance in continuing to establish TRIZ schools. Well, this is not correct. This is not like that. Everything was, on the contrary, not like that. He has been developing TRIZ school until the end of his life, and this message, this statement that he didn't want to develop these ideas at some point in his life is false. There can be other distortions of facts and scientific and methodological heritage, so possibly they are committed, they are made by those people who do not know the history, the background very well. We, of course, sometimes have publications in very renowned websites. We also have information from Danilovsky, Prushinsky, they are TRIZ masters, and this is the dialogue we have here in the website in the slide. So we see that the concept of technology development lines appeared in G.S. Altshuler's at least in 1969. And Mr. Prushinsky corrects this and saying that the concept has been formed in TRIZ since about 1982. In this book, he for the first time speaks about the monobipoly. That was in 1982. And then we have Yuri Danilovsky. I was surprised to know that he things like that. He was like, I know that for sure that this model was authored not by Mr. Altshuler, by some lady. Again, this combination of Mr. Altshuler and some woman in one sentence surprised me very much, and I was also very much surprised that Mr. Altshuler adopted, this idea, is someone's idea. This was what I have seen from this publication of about all these actions and who did these steps specifically. Again, we have some comments from this website's editors. Some woman that was possibly Irina Flickstein, that was she who told about it, she wrote about it in the website, and she told, she wrote that this woman had anything to do with the development of the system development lines. So at least this theory of monobipoly and technology development lines was described by Mr. Altshuler in the 1960s, as early as the 1960s, as far as I know, and also as far as I know about Genrikh Saulovich. He led those theses, and this is what we know from our colleagues. His first works were supported, and then it was supported by Mr. Timoshuk, and then this full line was described later in the 1980s, and this woman, Irina Flickstein, didn't have anything to do with these achievements, and I know that for sure because I knew very well this woman, Irina Flickstein. This is a photo from the movie, which is The Algorithm of Invention. This is myself. I am a second-year student. In my second year in university, Mr. Altschuler invited me to uh, attend the filming, like with other colleagues, and we also have Irina Flickstein. She was mentioned like some woman in this website. Well, for me, all this is a strange development. It's a strange story. Of course, we have been studying the background of TRIZ research, and in this year, in 1974, and a bit later, led by Mr. Altschuler, I was also managed by Mr. Altschuler. I was engaged in the research of development lines within trees, and for me, I have this concept. So this concept of patent protection has been integrated, has been included and added at this point. So this research topic for Mr. Altschuler was the basic part of his work, the fundamental part of his work. To my surprise, also, I can mention that he was a pure researcher. His mentorship, his teaching qualities, and his teaching skills were also unique. He was a unique teacher. He could engage and attract anyone with his story. He could attract dozens of people to listen to his lectures. When he visited a particular Soviet city, this was perceived like a major occasion, and there were very many people, a lot of people visiting his lectures. Many of these people were very well known. They included writers and other renowned people. And again, we hear that his main topic, his main activity was research, but this is not completely like that. So we have this photo from 1984 from Novosibirsk, from the academic city. There was this research conference hosted in Novosibirsk, which concluded, which drew the bottom line from the conference in Petrozavodsk. I had this report there on the development of history, on the development and its impact on the development of invention. So this photo is from 1984, and we see these people here. Many of them became TRIZ masters afterwards. Like I mentioned, in 1990s, in 1990, Mr. Altschuler moved to Petrozavodsk. My research was conducted under the management of Mr. Altschuler, and we met each other every week or every 2 weeks, not to stop this possibility to perform research. I moved to Petrozavodsk, and this is a photo taken in Chkalov Street in Petrozavodsk. So we have Valentina Nikolaevna Zhuravleva, Yuna, Miss Yuna, and Izzy Buchman. Yuna is Mr. Altschuler's granddaughter, and Mr. Buchman is the head of Altschuler's Institute in the United States. So this was the time when we met each other, and we took this photo together to memorize this moment together. Petrozavodsk has been the center, the hub of TRIZ in our country. The TRIZ Association also had its headquarters in Petrozavodsk, because right here we had Mr. Altschuler working and performing his research. The TRIZ Association council sessions also took place in Petrozavodsk. This is one of the council's sessions depicted here in these pictures. In this picture, many of the people, almost all of them, are TRIZ masters. They were part of the TRIZ Association Council. In 1997, Mr. Altschuler decided to transform the TRIZ Association to the International TRIZ Association, TRIZ. To do this and to perform this transformation from one association to an international association to implement it, I was appointed executive director of TRIZ Association. He handed over all the documents to me, and then he instructed me to to establish the public associations of the TRIZ Association. We changed the structure. We also changed our activity areas. So within the TRIZ Association, we had this individual membership in the International Association. We promoted membership through public organizations and NGOs. In 1999, when Mr. Altschuler was no longer with us, we finished the official registration of TRIZ in the Ministry of Justice of the Russian Federation. Myself, together with my colleagues, we were working actively on this, and here in this picture you see many people. Many of these people were doing the same, so they were supporting us in our work. In the TRIZ website, we have this information. So it says that TRIZ was set up by Mr. Altschuler. I'd like to repeat it. Mr. Altschuler was beginning to launch TRIZ with its registration center in Moscow. When it comes to Moscow, to United States, this organization was established by someone else, not by Mr. Altschuler. So again, we see this information that TRIZ was founded with the participation of organizations from USA, France, Latvia, and Estonia, but in reality, everything was a bit different or very different from what is said there. So these associations setting up the official TRIZ, there were 4 main founders. 3 of them were from Russia, Karelia, St. Petersburg, and Novosibirsk. And then there was another organization from Ukraine, from Dnipropetrovsk, which and this was sufficient to set up an international organization. This is what we did actually. Now, not to set up a lot of legal entities, which is hard work. Now, not to do that, to avoid that. So the majority of these organizations, 17 organizations from 5 countries, participated in the forming of TRIZ, of the International TRIZ Association. Many of these organizations were public organizations without a legal entity that was permitted by the law. This included organizations from Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Israel, and France. Well, possibly we wouldn't want to change history in any way and give false data which have nothing to do with historic facts. After the establishment of the International TRIZ Association, of the TRIZ official registration, I and Mr. Mitrofanov signed a treaty, an agreement. The topic of the agreement was to set up this International TRIZ Association and to liquidate the TRIZ Association. So this is the document which we now have, dated 10th of October 1999. So this is the date when it was signed. We performed activities in various fields. First one is setting up a certification system, which is well known at the moment. I'd like to mention that, of course, this work involved our colleagues from different geographies. So again, this was supported by Marat Gefetolin, Mr. Severinis, Litvin, Murashkovsky, and many other colleagues we had. So this is what we created today. There was a 5-tier certification system set up and established by these people. The international significance of this certification was supported by Samsung, Samsung Electronics. Me and my colleagues formed these massive certifications at this company, and this is what we have in this photo, a photo from Samsung, and at the moment I was president of Matrix, so this is why they have this explanation there. Again, I'd like to repeat that Matrix website says that this organization was set up by Mr. Altschuler. It was not like that in many aspects. The organization that was set up by the instruction, through the instruction of Mr. Altschuler, was liquidated, and we have a dedicated document to confirm this. So this tool of liquidation we used to this vehicle to liquidate was very simple. Mark Barkan was elected president of the Russian Matrix, and then after that there was a situation created when we didn't file any documents to the Ministry of Justice of the Russian Federation, so automatically this organization was liquidated in Russia. But then after that we established another organization through another legal entity, which was created in the United States. But this is not the same organization, and this is what I wanted to underline. This is not the same entity, the same organization. So we see this seal or stamp here. We have this stamp saying that the organization's seat is in Moscow, and then we have a different stamp which says that the organization's seat is in the US. Those membership cards that were established for the Russian Matrix, the signification, the designation was nominated as the organization registered in the Ministry of Justice. Those membership cards filed in US didn't have this designation, and we also have other differences. So again, that this organization in the US was not the same organization that we had in Russia that was established in 1997, 1999. So again, so these are these legal aspects, so possibly this is not that important, that is not that critical. So we now have inherited this Matrix legacy spirit that was formed by Mr. Altschuler. But again, here we also have some differences or distortions that can happen, and I would like just to briefly mention them. So for some reason, Matrix believes that the primary mission of TRIZ is not to be linked with the development of high-level inventions, but more focused on technologies with high market value, with a high market value. Well, there can be different opinions, but in this regard, they do not correspond to what Altschuler was writing about, that Altschuler, foundation of TRIZ, is the laws of dialectics and biology, and the general principles of system development sharpened through the extensive analysis of patent data, revealing effective solutions.
Позиция, которую Альтшулер высказывал много раз в разных документах. Почему надо переходить на рыночные ценности?
Why do we need to transfer to the market values and to reject the position Altschuler? It is not really understandable for me. Another mistaken statement. So they say that as if much more complicated. I would like the reader to come away with a simplistic idea. First level problems are laughably easy. Oh, misconception of prioritization high-level inventions over low-level ones should be replaced with the focus on invention that are the substantial market value. And here is misconception and mismatch with the position of Altschuler, because his quote is, you see, at the slide, in one of his articles, he said, I would not like the reader to come away with the like false understanding that first level problems are laughably easy. And the higher level, the better. Thus, we should always aim for the fourth or fifth level inventions. And the second to the third level inventions are not only necessary on their own right, but also for the realization of high level inventions. So he said that all inventions are important, but first and second level could be used with the level of trials and errors. But second and third level, this very method is not very efficient, which is so that's why we need to use TRIZ methodology. So all technologies are important, but there is a level of importance. So there is no false misconception about different levels of Altshuler attitude or approach. So again, TRIZ is directed should focus not identifying and resolving contradiction, but on creating marketplace innovations of high market value. So we have to understand why we should talk about innovations and inventions as if it is substituting one another. So it is completely different concepts. Innovation is a market concept of some product at the market, which is successful on the market, but invention is completely different concept. Again, we're coming back to Altshuler. So his quote is, TRIZ is built on high-level invention, but not on MS or low-level inventions without discrepancies. Invention information funds need to be differentiated by invention level. So he wrote about that many times, and I was speaking about that. And you see, innovations in inventions are so different because they're being with a time gap of million years. So first inventions of humanity, like processing of stone, of an axe, water, and on, clothes, it was like 2 million years ago. But market relations, it's about 9,000 years ago. So it's completely different things. And you see, innovations and market relations were feasible only because of invention. So it's a separate conversation. We shouldn't mix innovations and inventions because they're completely different things. And also the last thing about the laws. So the laws are verified not on the basis of inventions. So this is the laws of development should not be identified based on high-level invention. It should reflect all stages of the evolutionary process. So at different stages of the process, including different lines, curves, so it could be inventions of different levels. For example, sometimes it needs the inventions of a high level. Then when we come to the mass production, mass implementation of the invention, it should require some inventions of a higher level. So life cycle of different inventions has different timelines, different approaches. It is difficult to not agree with the statement of Grigory Franklach So he actually stated about those websites, this is not quite TRIZ, or rather not TRIZ at all. It's only the name remains. And it is difficult to not to join this opinion. At least it goes without that very doubt which we already expressed. So what is the mechanism of such a transfer of less important topics per se, and leaving from those original attitudes and approaches of Altshuler? So he was combining core of the TRIZ as a theory for solving inventive tasks. So the basis, the foundation, which is not really changed within those dozens of years. So no format of new instruments, new tools like some tricks, tips, tools. So what has changed? Methods of system analysis and problem setting. So you see the core of TRIZ resolve those tasks. And then application of this TRIZ core, application in businesses, enterprises, innovations, everything is actually supported on the core of TRIZ. So this concept is peripheral direction. It kind of what they try to introduce, but it is not correct, because we need to find the support in the basis, in the core. So that's why we have to consider it as a scientific system. Also, financial flows in matrix, which increased 100-fold within the last years. So this is one of the reasons why it is interesting to administrate, to manage this matrix system. But we didn't want to be distracted only on the commercial opportunities of TRIZ, and we would like to continue research direction, because it was important. And I have to say that Altshuler was putting pretty high bar, setting high bar for the development. One of the tests was taking about 10 years or more from us, and only after that we were printing some articles, some publications on that. So 10 years of very deep research work, a lot of drawing, a lot of preparations and everything. Not everyone would run through all this. So if we have some kind of a barrier, water barrier, like HPP, and we have to feel this very potential. So there is a big kind of seduction to make a hole in this barrier. So huge potential of the research requires a lot of investments. So that's why we try to hold this very high level of research work in TRIZ. So it is one of the examples of how we developed those scientific approaches which were left by Altshuler in his works and researches. 1979, Altshuler was publishing in different documents, it is said. He was saying that the receptions or like techniques. We know those like 40, 50 techniques. They're less efficient than the couple reception or anti-reception. So we have to go from we have to come from single elementary ones to by techniques. Not reception anti-reception, but technique anti-receive technique. So that's why it is the systematic solution of that direction actually was not implemented. And only in 2024, specialists of TRIZ Summit were able to create the system of 18 poly techniques. So we had 40 basic techniques and also 10 additional monotechniques. And then we created special table for bipoly techniques. Actually, this is implementation of what he was writing about. And also, we implemented the system in TRIZ computer program, which is available to everyone free of charge. So we try to make all the developments and all our researchers free of charge. So Altshuler was writing that commercial approach shouldn't prevail in our activity. And as per all me, at the Trezor seminars and in TRIZ Summit, we try to make all our events free of charge, and hopefully we will be able to do that in the future. Well, at least our conference is free, and publications of the assemblies of materials is free of charge. So it's been like that for many years. Just recently, we made this collection of materials from 2023 conference. So we would like to make it in English and in Russian free of charge, all the access to the information and materials. And then complementary software package. We're talking about thousands of users of that program, which actively Rusal company uses it in the dozens of their plants. One of the plants even made an application at the international competition of BRICS countries for the best practices of innovation development. And here you can see the list of those modules which are put in complementary software package. So it's pretty wide variety, and it allows us to implement major part of the works on the project activity, which is application. Also, we develop a certification system from assistant to the master, TRIZ master. We have system certification. So, for example, here is the difference of TRIZ Summit and MATRIZ certification. So, assistant is the first level of MATRIZ, and the third level of TRIZ Summit is the level.
То есть начало более тяжелое такое, да, в сертификации TRIZ Summit кандидат.
We can see the difference between those as per Icarus Daedalus. Also, we have annual Summit TRIZ Cup between students and school children. There are different nominations. Also, we have in-person TRIZ tournament. Just recently, we were get together. We got together and from different cities, and we were sharing the practice from the real work from Rusal plants, and students were dealing with this very successfully. So everyone liked it. It was rather successful. And also, we continue our work on the development of TRIZ glossary. As far as I know, this is the fullest TRIZ glossary on TRIZ terms, and we are preparing term classification as well. And next year, we are planning to make some renewal of this. Now we have about 560 terms.
В следующем году будет их еще больше, потому что
And
ТРИЗ развивается, появляются новые методики, новые термины.
In the next year, it will be developed more.
Но если подводить итог, то 20
So as the conclusion, we have 20 annual international TRIZ conference altogether, certification Carlos Dalus, also publication TRIZ materials in Russian and in English, also the TRIZ ontology project, and it still continued, goes on, including TRIZ glossary, also annual in-person TRIZ tournament for pupils and university students, enhancement of Campina TRIZ software package. And also we try to develop key TRIZ tools, laws, techniques, standards, principle analysis. Not all of them, but mainly main developments are we try to discuss at the TRIZ development conferences. And also we plan to continue the practice of webinars and roundtables on TRIZ. Main our activity hopefully will be connected to the research work, and all those directions which I talked about, we will continue. And also we have planned our future development of ontology TRIZ development project. And also we are planning to hold roundtables, webinars on some definite separate topics. For example, the topic which is connected with TRIZ science. On application of TRIZ, and hopefully in November and December we will prepare first list of those webinars. Yesterday we talked about the work of Marat Gafitulin. Also, there are some works which are related with the development of analysis of the principle of operations of different systems. We want to talk about that more in detail. Also, another report on different analysis will be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. It will be rather interesting as well. And we consider
она не может проходить в рамках одной организации. Мы приглашаем.
Well, we believe this work cannot happen within one organization, so we invite to our common activities other researchers, TRIZ specialists and researchers, so we would be happy to work together, as well as we are inviting associations, and we are welcoming the TRIZ official, as well as Artschuler Institute and other entities, other organizations, so we would welcome to work together. So we do have a choice of organizations set up both in Russia and globally. We are open to this engagement, to this working together and cooperation. We believe that this science-based
должна
approaches to developing trees as a
происходить
science
открыто и в
should
диалоге
happen,
со
should
всеми
be performed
заинтересованными
involving
лицами.
a dialogue
Спасибо
with
большое.
all stakeholders of this
На этом
process.
у меня все.
This is it, colleague.
Если есть какие-то
I'd like to thank you for your
вопросы,
attention. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take
то я
them, of course,
постараюсь на них
and
ответить.
I'll do my best to give you my best responses
Спасибо,
to
Михаил
questions, if any.
Семенович.
Thank you,
В
Mikhail
чате у
Semyonovich.
нас
In the
есть, ну
chat,
это даже, не
we
знаю,
do
не
have a
вопрос,
few questions.
а
This is not
комментарий.
like a question, but more like a comment from one of the
Михаил Семенович, есть
participants.
возможность
If
зайти в
you
чат?
can
Или я
use the
зачитаю?
chat,
Я пока
Mikhail
не вижу
Semyonovich,
этот
to read
чат.
out
Сейчас.
the
Ага.
comment. I
Потому что
cannot see the chat
зачитывать на
yet.
слух
So
будет,
again,
может быть, трудно воспринять.
maybe if I read it out, it will be very hard to
Сейчас, секунду.
listen to it.
Я просто не вижу чат. У меня...
Ну, давайте я зачитаю тогда.
Oh,
Да,
all right,
давайте.
then I will read it out. Yes, please, if
От
possible. So, okay,
Андрея.
this is a comment from Andrei.
Комментарий. Законы
There is a
развития
comment.
должны
These
миновать
development laws,
эмпирические
principles
законы.
should be
Я
nominated
открыл.
as empirical laws. Yes, I can see it now.
Законы
Yes, so
развития
these
должны
principles of
именоваться как
developments
эмпирические
should
законы,
be
так как нет формального
designated as
математического
empirical
обоснования
principles because there
отложения
is no
труда. Это
formal mathematical
эмпирический закон молота и так далее, и так
mathematical
далее.
rationals, mimics, and other principles in question.
Можно, да, отвечать?
А, конечно, конечно.
Can I respond?
написал, а я написал комментарий.
Yes, Andrei wrote this first comment, and then I
Я не
added mine.
услышал, что?
If you can say that again, please.
Это комментарий от Андрея,
This is a
а я
comment
потом
from
написал
Andrei, and then
просто свое мнение по этому
this is
комментарию.
followed
Я
by
понял,
my
это
opinion
там
regarding this
еще
comment.
выше.
Okay, I
Я понял
understand it.
тогда.
I see
Спасибо,
there is
спасибо за
another one
уточнение.
higher.
Закономерности
Thank you
не
so much.
закон, это не
Again,
жизнь,
so these
теория
principles
есть проект
of this
онтологии
and
TRIZ.
theory of
Вы как
this
бы
TRIZ
даже...
ontology.
понятно.
Yes, I understand what you
Спасибо,
mean
Андрей.
by
Спасибо,
your
Антон, за
comment. Thank you,
уточнение.
Anton and Andrei, for your clarifications.
Тема законов,
So the topic of principles
запятая,
or laws,
закономерностей,
comma,
запятая,
these
линия развития,
principles of
это
development
отдельная
lines. So
тема,
this
очень
is a
серьезная.
dedicated topic, which is an
Мы
individual one
стараемся
and a serious one. We
выводить эти
are trying
законы не
to
только
put these laws not
эмпирически, как здесь
like
было сказано,
and
да,
deduct these
но
laws
мы
not
стараемся
only
находить
empirically, but we also are trying to find
фундаментальные
those
основы для этих
fundamental
законов. Поэтому,
basics
во-первых, мы
or
перешли
fundamentals of these
к
principles of these
законам
laws. So
развития
we
систем
switched
вообще,
to
не
these
только
systems, laws,
техники.
principles
Но это
in
логично,
general in technology. This
с
is
нашей точки зрения, да,
logical
законы
in our
развития
opinion. So
бизнес-систем,
these
законы развития инновационных систем и так
principles,
далее.
laws for the development of
Мы
business
решили,
systems, information
что
systems. So
более
we
общими
decided to
являются законы развития
have these
систем вообще.
development principles of
И,
systems to be more
соответственно,
general overall again.
научной основой для этих законов
So this
являются
fundamental
законы
scientific base
диалектики, законы
for this is the principles of dialectics,
функциональных
as
систем,
well
да,
as
значит,
the
там,
principles of
Анохин и
functional
так далее.
systems, developments by Mr.
Системные
Anochin and
подходы. То
Davis.
есть
So
есть
this are the
очень
system-based
много
approaches. We do
научных
have a
подходов,
lot of
из которых
science-based
вытекают эти
approaches
законы и
which
закономерности.
are used to derive
Вообще у нас
these
была
principles
публикация,
and
по-моему, 2 года назад по
these
законам, и там это все рассматривалось. То есть
laws.
сейчас
So
я до
again,
конца
there
этого не
was a
отвечу
presentation about it, and
на
all
эти
that
вопросы.
was
И,
presented
скорее
in
всего,
this
наверное,
presentation, so I won't be able
это
to
кандидат
respond to your
на
questions fully.
один из
And I
вебинаров
feel that this is also a
для того,
potential
чтобы
topic
это
for
более
one
детально
of our
обсудить.
webinars for us to
За вопрос
discuss
спасибо.
these
Очень
objective laws,
важнейший вопрос. Один из
patterns, and
важнейших вопросов
principles. I believe this is
по
the
развитию
question
ТРИЗ.
that you're asking is like a
Да,
fundamental
антологию
one and a very important one.
мы
Regarding ontology, when it
будем
comes to
продолжать. У
ontology,
нас
we will be working
перед
further on
конференцией
that.
мы
Before the
запланировали
conference, we planned
формат продолжения работы с антологией.
this format
Из
to work with
антологии
ontology
вытекает,
further.
в
So
частности,
from ontology,
и
we derive
ТРИЗ-гласса и там, и так далее. Но
this
там все сложнее, не только
principles,
антология.
including TRIZ glossary and others. But of course, this
Не
is
знаю, ответил
something
на вопрос
more
или
than
нет. Если
ontology.
не ответил, то,
I
может быть, было
have tried
услышано.
to answer your question. If you want to hear more clarifications,
Я
you
думаю, что
can
откомментировали.
open your mic.
Действительно,
Yes, you
вопрос
have
очень широкий,
commented the
поэтому мы
question that
формат его
the
обсуждения.
comment in the chat
Коллеги, есть ли у
is
кого-то
a
еще
very
вопросы
general
по
one, so this is not the format here to discuss it.
Включайтесь.
Anyone
У нас
else
есть
wants
время.
to ask a question? We do have some time left, so you can open your mic and ask your question orally if you want.
Ну, пока коллеги думают, Михаил Семенович, у меня есть
While
вопрос.
the colleagues are thinking, I
Михаил,
have
спасибо
my
большое и
question,
за
and we also
доклад, и
have
за
another one in
направление.
the
Вот
chat. Mikhail, thank
обозначенные
you
в
for
ответе.
your
Вам
report and
ответил
for the
Антон
areas
Кожемяк.
that you highlighted in your
Да,
work. That
Антон, с
was a comment by
удовольствием
Anton
будем с вами
Kожemyako.
сотрудничать.
Yes,
Много
Anton, we
интересного
will be happy to
разработано.
work with you. You
Михаил
have many
Семенович,
very
пока
interesting
коллеги
developments.
зреют с вопросами,
While
я
the colleagues
задам
are
вопрос от
thinking
себя на
about their
правовую
questions,
позицию.
I'd like to
С какими
ask mine
вызовами
as
в
a
настоящий
moderator.
момент
Now, what are
сталкивается
the
TRIZ Summit?
challenges the TRIZ Summit is facing at the moment?
Вызовами.
Challenges.
Ну, я в презентации на них пытался обозначить эти
Well, I
вызовы.
tried to refer to these challenges in my deck, in
Смотрите,
my presentation. I'd like to comment on this in this way. So this TRIZ Summit,
должен
the TRIZ
опираться
Summit should be
на
based on
исследователей
this researches,
высокого
on
уровня.
researches of a high level,
Ну вот
on high-level
в сравнении
researches.
с ОЛМИС, Петрозаводскими семинарами,
Always
оно не случайно.
Petrozavodsk workshops comparison was
Ситуация такая,
formed for a reason. So the situation
мало
is the following. So
исследователей,
currently we have few
мало
researchers. We have few
исследователей, которые имеют хороший
researchers
опыт
having very good, solid
проведения
experience
работ в области
in the
TRIZ.
field of TRIZ works and TRIZ developments.
И поэтому буквально каждый человек, который в
Any
этой области
person, almost any
работает и
person working in
работает
the field
грамотно,
and
на основе
working in the
информационного
field in the
фонда,
correct manner
на
is
основе
based on
классификации
this
этого
information
информационного
fund. And
фонда
again, this
по уровню решений, которые
information
там
fund should
есть,
be based on the
по
level of
сохранению
decisions which are
идеологии,
available, as well as
которая
the way to
закладывалась в
preserve
школу.
the ideology
Таких людей
that was
очень немного.
established by Mr. Altschuler.
И
We
это
have very few people like that
главная
with this
проблема.
kind of
Это
experience, and this
общий
is the main
уровень
challenge. This
исследовательской
is the main
работы
challenge, which
в
is the
TRIZ.
general level of this research
При
work at
этом
TRIZ, on
у нас
TRIZ.
нет
At the
исследовательской
same
школы по
time,
TRIZ, то есть мы не
we don't
готовим
have a
исследователей
research school on TRIZ, so
систематически.
we do not train
И
researchers
по большому
on a
счету нет
systemic basis, and
мотивации
generally, overall, we
для
don't have the
проведения
motivation
исследований.
to
В
perform this
основном,
research,
как вы видели,
because
ведь
as you've seen it
если у
already,
кого-то создалось
our colleagues,
впечатление, что
if you feel that
зарабатывать деньги на TRIZ-проектах это
earning
плохо,
money
так это не так.
on TRIZ
Надо
projects
зарабатывать
is a
деньги.
bad thing. Well, this is
Но
not like that. You need
нельзя
to earn money,
подменять
but at the same time, you don't want to
коммерческую
replace
сторону
this commercial part
исследовательской.
with this research part at the
Так
same
вот,
time. And again,
мотивация
this
материальная, что
motivation,
ли, да, она превалирует
this
сейчас
material
в
motivation is
TRIZ-движении.
currently prevailing in
И,
the TRIZ
соответственно,
movement. And of
нет
course,
мотивации для
we don't have the motivation,
появления
we don't
таких
have the
вот
incentive
исследователей. На мой взгляд,
to
это
train such researchers and
главная
for them to
проблема.
appear. So, I mean, this
Там
is the
есть
key challenge, in my
вытекающие из них,
opinion. We do
связанные и
have
со
some other
школьниками, и со
sub-challenges
студентами,
related to school
и с
students,
проектами
as
по
well as
TRIZ, и
college students and TRIZ projects. There are also some related
с
to other areas
применением
related
TRIZ в
to
бизнесе там, и
the
так далее.
business
Да?
application of TRIZ and others.
Но главное вот то, что я сказал.
So this is
Да,
my
спасибо, Михаил
main
Семенович.
topic, my
Вас
main
слышно,
opinion
понятно.
regarding that. Thank you,
Коллеги,
Mikhail
есть еще у
Semyonovich.
кого-то
That was
вопросы?
very
Михаил
informative.
Семенович.
Do we have any further questions for Mikhail Semyonovich?
Да,
Yes, please.
зачитаю
I
от
will
Натига
also read out a
поздравления Михаила
comment from
Семеновича.
Natik that
Уважаемый
is
Михаил
a
Семенович, от имени
congratulation
TRIZ
for
сообщества
Mikhail
Азербайджана
Semyonovich
примите
on behalf
поздравления с
of the
вашим
TRIZ
70-летним
community of
юбилеем.
Azerbaijan. I would like to
Ну, он
congratulate you
еще
on
не
your
наступил,
70th anniversary.
но надеюсь,
Well, it's
что
not yet here, my
Натик
anniversary. I mean,
не забудет к ноябрю.
maybe Natik will
Спасибо большое,
remember
очень
about
приятно.
this date in November.
Баку
Thank you
это
so much. Baku is
большая,
a
важная
major
часть моей
TRIZ
жизни.
hub
Там я
and part of my
познакомился с
life. I
Шулером
met
и
Mr. Altschuler there.
учился.
I also
Спасибо
studied
большое,
there, and I thank
что
you
не
for your
теряется связь с
congratulation.
Баку, в
Thank
том
you
числе и
for
благодаря Натику Алиеву.
staying in touch, and also we keep our connections.
Я тоже, если вы не
Also,
против, на правах
thanks to
ведущего
Mr.
секции задам вопрос.
Aliyev. As a
Вот
moderator of the
разработка
session, I'd
новых
like to ask my
инструментов,
question. So,
да,
developing new
понятно, это вообще
tools,
в целом, наверное,
well,
соответствует
in general, this is
развитию
in
любой
line
науки, любой
with
дисциплины.
the development
А
of
как
any discipline,
обеспечить
any science. So,
приживаемость
how can
чего-то
we
нового,
ensure
учитывая,
that
что многие люди
all
не хотят
innovations
меняться,
are
не хотят
perceived, are
учиться?
accepted,
Как вот
because we know
обеспечить
that many people not want
именно
to
более
study, not
широкий
want to
охват
change. So how do we ensure this
среди
broader
многих
scope,
людей, кто применяет
broader
TRIZ в своей
reach for
работе?
those people
Как
using
научить
trees in their
применять
work?
новые
How do we
инструменты?
train them? How do we teach
Такой
them
вот
to
у меня
use these
вопрос.
new tools? So this is my question.
И нужно ли вообще это делать?
Or do we need it to do at
Ну,
all?
на самом деле, ну, конечно, нужно.
Yes, of course, we need to do that, at least trying to do that. This is what we need to do. So this is not a new story. Mr. Altschuler mentioned this and he wrote about it, he told us about it many decades ago. Just an example, he was writing about those studying AS1, AS71, at AS1, at AS77. They do not proceed this TRIZ 85D. So this is just one example of these methodologies and these changes in differences in these concepts. Well, first of all, these new tools, they must be more efficient. So this is the key requirement to these new tools that are emerging. Alexander, do you agree with me? So we need to adopt and roll out and also extend the reach of those tools that are inferior to the previous ones. This is not our objective. This is not what we would want to do. This is what is in accordance with our rules,
Да, я
right,
соглашусь,
Alexander?
но просто
Yes,
по
I
опыту
support you in that.
нашего
Well,
опыта
looking at our experience of work, this is sometimes what we have as a case. Yes, so this new tool should be more efficient and this should be confirmed. So there should be practice, some focus groups confirming that this tool is more efficient. So this is what we need to have. And then further, there can be two ways. So the first one is we can have someone retrained to use this new tool because it is more efficient. And then at the same time, TRIZ always attracts new users. And this is what is important for new users. These new tools for new users for those new users, these new tools are not the only ones that are available. So developing TRIZ is also related to this continuous extension of this TRIZ user community. New users are perceiving these new tools in a different manner, in a simpler manner, I believe, than those who were using previous older tools. You understand what I mean? You understand what I mean in my answer? So some of the people, of course, can be retrained, that the majority of them, of these people using these new tools, will be new users. And then there is this third level, which is tradition after 5 or 10 years, when everyone knows that there is this inventive thinking. Now we all know about it, but then before that, they all told us that there is no inventive thinking, there is only creative thinking. But then after that, after the tradition, this becomes a commonplace and widely
Да, и
renowned,
последний
accepted
вопрос, давайте из чата
thing.
от Эдуарда. Надо ли ТРИЗ ориентировать
And there is
на
this
разные
last
приложения,
question:
а
do
не
we need
только на
to
изобретения?
focus TRIZ on rational proposals? Well, yes, this is a very easy, a very simple question, because Mr. Altschuler was writing about it. What is a rational suggestion? It's an invention, possibly not a high-level invention. Again, we don't want to make high-level inventions and address all these issues, all these comments at the first level. So a good inventor, and I'd like to repeat my idea, a good inventor knows how to use both inventions and create inventions of level 1 and level 2, also exchanging of variants, options, also selecting options. But at the same time, this inventor should be able to create inventions of a higher level. We want inventors to be versatile, to be flexible. Of course, we would want to have these rational suggestions at the same time. So, and again, at the same time, you would need and you will have to be able to change your to shift your paddle to move to a different level. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you for your questions. For me,
У
it
нас
is not
уже
possibly very convenient. Well, Mikhail,
Speaker
your
is
time is
Dr.
almost up.
Meyer from Germany. Dr. Meyer, are you here?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah, you ready for start?
I am ready for start so far. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Коллеги русскоязычные, переходите в перевод русскоязычный.
So my Russian colleagues, please use the
Yes,
translation.
Dr. Oliver.
So you have the My topic is a combination of trees and of sustainability in a point. I think you all know that this is a topic that is coming up more and more, how to create sustainable products in a way. And I did some research on that topic and trying to find how can we take trees and
Dr.
maybe...
Oliver, sorry, share your screen, please.
Oh, excuse me, please. Excuse me. Share screen. I'm not so much da ist. Bildschirm freigeben. Fenster oder Bildschirm auswählen.
The green.
Yes, I found it. Now it's a question. Just a second.